Hatchet, The Boxcar Children, Island of the Blue Dolphins, Lord of the Flies. 4 stories of children doing what it takes to survive in nature without adult supervision. Plus, a bonus episode featuring a story of a child teaming up with a muscle-bound hero against Count Dracula. We'll discuss those stories of survival, as well as our own survival of the year 2022, in this edition of Reliterated, Reiterated, Chapter 7. Let's talk. And welcome, at long last, to Reliterated, Reiterated, the episode where your favorite lowbrow book club discusses the books we read in the past few episodes, cover what we missed, and discuss this latest chapter as a whole, as well as talk about whatever the hell we want. As usual, we give you the fair warning. We use language too mature for kids, analysis too immature for literary scholars, and ignorance too profound to be inoffensive to everyone. I'm Andy.
I'm Harold.
And I'm Josh.
And today I was listening to one of the episodes in this chapter, and Xander was riding with me in the van, and we heard that part, what was it? Analysis too immature for literary scholars. Xander always thought that it said, and Alice is too immature for literary scholars. So he's like, who's Alice?
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty good.
Is it boba tea? Is that what that term is when they hear something wrong?
Bubba tea?
Well, no, there's a boba tea is like this thing on Reddit. You can check it out, and it's basically people mishearing things. So. Oh,
okay. Yeah, it's something that becomes a saying based off of a mishearing of something.
Possibly.
Bubble tea from boba tea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Maybe that. I know a lot of lyrics get misheard, so that could be a part of it.
Right.
Oh, I've misheard my share of lyrics.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Oh, that one. Anyways, this is our episode where we're talking about our survival chapter that we started back in May, and it's also our end of the year Christmas episode. We made it through another year, guys.
Oh man,
yeah.
we had 7 months.
It has been a year.
It has been quite the year.
It has been a fucking year.
If you're still listening, hey, thanks. Thanks for hanging around. We'll try to be more consistent.
Yeah. I think it's just the survival stories were, at least for me, they weren't that fun to read.
For me, it was rereading them. Like, I was excited to reread Hatchet. That was like, I was super excited and I was glad because that was still good. I still really enjoyed it. And then Lord of the Flies, fuck, I hate that book. So, yeah, not as much as I hate another book, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Lord of the Flies.
I learned that I love Hatchet as well, but Lord of the Flies is still one of my favorite books.
I think Hatchet is probably one of the all-time greatest, like, single person against nature stories out there. And it's a kid against nature, too.
Right.
And way more realistic than Sam Gribley in My Side of the Mountain.
Fucking easiest thing in the world.
How sure we were that it was awesome when we first went to reread that book. It was like, oh my God, this is awful.
Sam Gribley is like the Batman of kids surviving in the wilderness. Like,
yep.
He's got all this prep time. He knows exactly what to do. And things just work out for him because he's got this shark repellent spray in his utility belt or some shit.
But that wasn't quite the story for Brian.
No.
He
got fucked up by a moose.
Yep.
He did. He got fucked up by mosquitoes, fucked up by a porcupine.
A tornado?
By a tornado.
A moose. He was in a plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Watched a guy die in front of him and then had to fly a plane blindly.
He had to smell a dying guy's farts.
Yep.
I remember Josh was insistent that we mentioned the smell.
Oh, yeah.
It was very important.
When I did the Bob's Your Uncle, he's like, you missed a key detail in the story.
That was the smell of the pilot as he was dying.
Yeah. It's so important.
That's how it really happens, you guys.
Now, we did watch the movie, and that was, A Cry in the Wild it was called?
A Cry in the Wild, yeah.
Yep. And that, I was very surprised how closely the movie stuck with the story in the book.
It was very close. Like
right up until he full on wrestled a black bear.
He did wrestle that black bear.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't get messed up by a moose, but he did wrestle a black bear.
He didn't really get injured too badly from it. Not like he got messed up by the moose, but
no, he took that bear on.
I think he got like he cut his arm or something, and like a white wolf. What's the word I'm looking for? Like he imagined him there, a vision of a white wolf, like licked it clean, and he remembered his pet dog when he would lick his wounds clean or whatever. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I even rewatched it last week, and it's still been a while.
Oh, man.
Wow, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had an epic mullet, y'all.
Oh, yeah. That was beautiful.
It was something else. It was period correct. I mean,
the reason that he looked familiar to me is that he was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, he was the older kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Another movie I haven't seen in 20 years.
Yeah, Hatchet was definitely interesting. I enjoyed it.
I think a reason why it was so close to the book is because, one, the author worked on it, and it was made pretty soon after the book was published. We're only looking at like 1987 that the book was written, or at least that's what my copyright information says in my copy of the book. But 87, and then Cry in the Wild is from 1990.
Well, I mean, it was a good story, and it made sense to make it into a film because they were able to do it. And
yeah,
wasn't Diabetes Guy the pilot? No,
it was
it wasn't
unknown.
Wilford Brimley.
It was
Ned Beatty.
Ned Beatty. Okay, so it was somebody
He's been
recognizable.
in things, yeah.
He has been in things.
Wasn't he in Deliverance?
He was Bobby in Deliverance.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Is Bobby the one that says, I bet I can make you squeal like a piggy?
I'm pretty sure he is.
So, yeah, that guy's flying a kid around in a plane. He also played the role of Otis in Superman. I don't know who Otis was, but
a very important character in Superman.
Very important in Superman canon, yes.
Yep.
Otis. Good old Otis. Died of a fart attack.
Died of a fart attack on a plane. I mean, and even like in the movie, the plane crashes into a lake. He swims to shore, and they went right up to the hatchet dropping in the water and him swimming down to get it, and then the water blowing away and him seeing the plane's tail sticking out. I mean, that was I really was impressed with how much license they gave Gary Paulson to obviously he worked on the movie, you know. I mean, like you said, he did, but it's obvious that he did.
Yeah.
Not like
kept very faithful to the book.
Yeah. I didn't watch the Boxcar Children movie though.
Nor did I. Andy, how was that?
Oh, it was hard. It was tough, you guys.
Yeah.
Those epic PS2 graphics.
It looked like an animatic from a PS2 game. The animation style was all over the place. Watch the Dog looked horrible. They had J.K. Simmons and Martin Sheen just phoning it in with their performances.
Hey, sometimes you just need a car.
Yeah, sometimes you need a paycheck. You know, I won't begrudge an actor a paycheck, whatever. I would do it, but
right.
yeah, just so boring. The constant like soft piano music in the background, just aggravating. The stiff motions of the characters, and it had no reason being such terrible animation because let me look up what year it was. 2014.
Oh, Jesus.
This thing looked like, what did the animation style remind me of? Like a worse version of VeggieTales.
Oh, wow. And that's pretty not great.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like primitive CGI animation.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
I think they blew their budget on Martin Sheen as the grandfather.
Oh, so he got to be the creepy grandpa?
Yeah, he got to be the creepy grandpa.
Fun.
Which it plays really differently if you've seen Martin Sheen in like anything else he's done. And I very easily connect him with his role in Mass Effect 2, and I think he came back in Mass Effect 3. But yeah, as the elusive man, the kind of he's not the bad guy of it, but he's just this very corrupt, powerful, ungodly rich individual kind of directing your actions.
Okay. I haven't played Mass Effect in a long time.
But yeah, that's Martin Sheen up in that. And then he's the grandfather in the Boxcar Children, so yeah.
One has decidedly better animation.
Yes, and that would be Mass Effect.
A game that came out before this movie.
A game that came out before this movie. Probably had a bigger budget.
Right.
But still, I mean, it was just written horribly too. Like the kids were getting chased by the baker and the baker's wife. They really had no motivation for chasing the kids down like they were. They were like running them down with their van. They tracked them like they had no business being that good of tracking those kids. Yeah, it was weird. It's a weird movie.
They added all that and it was still boring.
And it was still boring. Yeah, no, this wasn't in any exciting way that they were chasing the kids with their van. It was still a boring chase, and they gave up like as soon as the road was blocked by a tree, and they couldn't go around it because they had no budget to render more trees to block their path. It was just a fallen tree in the over the path that they were running down the kids in with their van, but they decided, I've chased them enough. Let's go.
Which is great because
we've done all we could.
The baker and the baker's wife just took the kids in as a nicety for a night, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I don't know, I wasn't paying too close attention, but I think that they were going to like give Benny up to the children's home and keep the other 3 to work for them or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But
so they were evil bakers.
They were evil bakers, yes. We're going to make the kids work for us and give them nothing in return. But that boy, that little one, is going to be a problem.
We'll send him to the factory.
Just silly. Yeah, that book was pretty boring as well, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it was all right, and it kind of fits into the survival chapter because they lived in a boxcar, but I would not read it again.
All I remember is like the littlest one had a little cup, a little pink cup. That's all I remember.
Well, I guess I know I wouldn't read it again. I would not want to do another Boxcar Children book, like another one in the series.
Yeah, it was very boring.
Yeah.
And coming off of this survival story, it's just like a series of mysteries that the children solve.
Right, from their rich grandpa's home.
From the rich grandpa's home with the boxcar in the backyard as like a clubhouse. Oh, I just remember the very beginning of the movie starts off with like the origin of the boxcar. Like you see the train's like rolling down the track, and it's going by this like side track that's going down. It's like clearly abandoned or whatever. And then like lightning strikes the train, and like the last boxcar at the very end of the train jumps the track and goes down conveniently down the abandoned side track. And so that's how it comes to rest in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, because that's how trains work.
Because that's how trains work.
That's, as far as I know, that's how they work. I don't know anything about trains.
So I know they need rails to actually travel.
Yeah.
So.
And lightning doesn't
going
really do
fast
anything
enough.
to them. Definitely wouldn't unhitch it from the train.
This was an old train, so it didn't have lightning proofing.
It's true. Yep. They didn't invent that until like the 60s.
Yeah. Slaps boxcar. This one's lightning proof.
Not with lightning proofing.
And then I did think that was interesting how many versions of the story there were.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, boring. And then we had Island of the Blue Dolphins, which I thought was...
And that one...
I like that
yeah,
one.
that one started out not boring. Then it got boring because she was just on the island by herself, so how exciting can it be? But then it got, I don't know, kind of sadly tragic because knowing what happens to her, it's like, yeah, she got off the island, but at what cost?
Yeah, she started eating fruits and then she died. quickly.
That'll happen. That's why I don't eat fruit.
She
Red
started
meat
eating
only.
foreign foods that her system was not ready to absorb.
Consume. Yes.
in a time when there was not the greatest healthcare system of keeping her alive.
Are you saying that her humors didn't affect her?
I'm saying all the leeches in the world probably wouldn't have helped.
Sounds about right.
Or all the prayer in the world.
Man, I can't imagine living at a time like that. When you think about things now and you're like, oh, this is awful, that's awful, this is awful. It's like, yeah, but, at least you aren't like walking through the woods, you cut your foot, and the next thing you know, you're laying in a bed sweating and dying, like, and everybody's like, oh, please save him, please. Like that.
Depends on which where you are.
Well,
Somebody
there's nothing more we can do. It's in God's hands now.
It's in God's hands now. We just gotta drain his foot, that's all.
Out with the bad blood, in with the good.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, I know that there are places here now, Josh, but by and large, okay?
Oh, yeah. It's much better than it
By and large,
was.
it's much better, yes. The population doesn't double in 50 years because things are getting worse. I really think they missed the opportunity in that magic treehouse to talk about soldiers getting their legs sawn off while they screamed in agony. Because
They
there was
really
nothing
did.
else they could do. Yeah,
Well,
they really
we didn't read that Civil War book. Maybe they talked about that in the Civil War on Sunday or whatever it was.
The slow, methodical back and forth of the nurse's arm with the scraping sound of metal on bone.
Every stroke of the hacksaw accompanied by the worst scream you could possibly imagine.
Until the man inevitably passed out. Then silence befell the camp, but the work continued. What the fuck? This is a children's book? This is awesome.
Well, we do have Johnny Tremaine coming at some point, so.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Island of the Blue Dolphin, yeah, completely unrelated to that.
Yep.
No, I think we covered this book pretty well when we did it in our episode.
Yeah.
And we didn't watch the movie because we couldn't really find it. It wasn't streaming anywhere, so.
Right. Yeah, there was an adaptation of it, but I don't know. I think what stopped us? I think it was like a pay thing.
Well, no,
it's not streaming anywhere for free.
I believe
basically.
that Janelle found it, but the problem for me
right.
is that it was in black and white, and I refuse to watch anything that's black and white.
Also, the link that she found expired, or was taken down before we actually got around to trying to watch it.
Right. So
yeah, I would have watched it.
I just don't believe in black and white film.
You don't believe in black and white?
I think it should be eradicated.
So Harold, you're rejecting the photographic evidence that the world was in black and white before 1940s or whatever.
I'm not rejecting it. I can't imagine. I feel so bad for those people, and I think that we should forget about it.
I feel so bad for those people of the past that we should just not talk about it.
We should not talk about it anymore.
Have you seen Sin City?
Sin City had splashes of color in it.
I wanted to hear your justification for watching that.
Yep.
I remember we went and saw that at the theater.
Yep. And I knew that there were going to be splashes of color, so I was like, yeah, I could watch that. That's just fake black and white. That's a trick of the camera.
I mean, you've seen the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, but
that's pretty much black and white. I
didn't watch the grayscale one. There's one that's done in black and white.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. Ugh. I was like, it's going to be the same.
Gross. No, only worse. But yeah, we did not watch that film because there were a few reasons. We also couldn't all gather up at the same time to watch it anyways.
Right. Our schedules have not been meshing very well.
No, things have been busy at work with me, and it's tiring work.
Mm-hmm. In the past couple months, I've been preparing to be on stage.
Yes, that's right. You're doing a play.
A Christmas Story, the musical. It's been a lot of fun.
And I've been sick since I've been in Michigan, so yay.
Yeah, and you're like just like recovered your voice from another like cold, right?
Yeah, my voice just got back. It's not even fully back. It's just, it's good enough to record, and I don't sound like a female at this point, so that's all right. Because I know I have a slightly higher register, so a lot of people think I'm a female, but I'm not.
For anybody that might be listening that might have thought that he was a girl.
Yeah, I'm not a girl. I'm a dude.
So I turned this on at work one day, and I warned them. I said, we're talking about books. And like, we're trying to be witty, but we're also trying to analyze the book from a position of not being professionals at analyzing books.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, put it on. I'm like, I'm telling you guys. I mean, 10 minutes into it, someone was like, can we turn something else on? I'm like, you asked for this. Oh, just not the place. You know what I mean? Not the place to listen to it.
Yep, no. I can't imagine a workplace being a great place for like any podcast for a group of people at any rate.
No, we throw on music and it goes anywhere from the 70s to now. And I just, you know what I mean? It's like whatever music. And
yeah, as good as our show is, it's not for everybody.
No.
And I fully realize that.
My last day at Cal Steam, I put it on. And so the guys got to hear it. And hey, if you're listening still, thanks, guys. Thanks for still keeping with us.
Man, you've really stuck it out. And they're like, man, this is what you've been doing with your spare time?
Obviously not, because we don't hardly record.
We'll get back in the swing of it.
Yeah.
We're going to get back in the swing of it, yeah.
Oh, no, my work's been crazy, too. I've been learning a bunch of new stuff, so that takes up a lot of my brain power. I just come home and I'm just like, okay, time to veg, because this all needs to get into my long-term memory.
Brain power not good, because I'm learning stuff to do things.
It's all accounting, so it's all a lot of number stuff. So it's like,
no, I got you.
I'm just like, after a day of just staring at numbers and inputting data like that, it's just, ugh. All I want to do is watch TV.
Thank you, Josh, for the apt description of what you've been learning lately.
I can't get too detailed.
Well, obviously, but
I work in mental health. I can't.
Right.
PHI is a thing.
Please give us detailed files. No.
And my social security number is.
My social security number. My mother's maiden name? Yes.
Oh, that's easy. That's Poe.
That's Poe.
So yeah, after that book, what was the next book? Lord of the Flies. Ugh.
I can't help that you have no taste, Josh.
Hey, I don't know why I can't taste anything either, Harold, but that has nothing to do with this book.
Because he's sick.
Yeah, I am sick. That's probably why I can't taste or smell
Lord
anything.
of the Flies, it is not a book that you want to read if you like feel-good stories.
Nope.
Josh clearly likes the feel-goods.
If you're a big fan of that one scene where Anakin goes and kills all the younglings, you're going to like this book.
But it doesn't get to that like level of sadism of like
just one kid
with like the anti-hero. I mean, nobody was built up as the anti-hero to like kill everybody else or whatever. We mostly followed the main target of the wrath of the boys who succumbed to the darker side of human nature, who lost all scruples about killing people.
Well, and it also showed that where Piggy was being vocal, Ralph was having kudos and he was the leadership, and meanwhile all this other stuff was happening because he was cool with these guys. And then when it got out of hand, his lack of action throughout is what helped contribute to all that happening. So, I mean, yes, those guys gave into their bloodlust, but it was also the lack of action of other people banding together to step in on it that allowed it to happen too.
Sure. I mean, foolish Ralph, he figured that everybody was going to chip in to get them all rescued, put in the work equally, and turns out it doesn't work that way.
Nope.
Especially when there's no consequences for going against what society's taught you.
Well, and even the consequences that there were, again, like we talked about.
And the consequences of nature, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of little kids died that we probably didn't know about. Off page, a bunch of little kids died, and they didn't even succumb to those consequences or recognize that it was happening because they were so, so yeah, It was, to me, I felt it's an interesting dive into a possible scenario that I think is, while unlikely because the situation that happened was unlikely, I think that it is possible, especially considering the ages of the kids and the time they were living in. Like, definitely. And that's why I've always really enjoyed that book, because I think it climbs into the darker reaches of human nature and even shows, like, you ride along as Ralph basically, and you see him not see the big deal, and then you see him crawling through flaming fields, like, holy fucking shit. The consequences of actions and the darker side of human nature. Yeah. I always enjoy that shit.
What did you think of the movie adaptation?
I didn't like it. I remember thinking it was all right when I was a kid, but I did not like how far it distanced itself from the book. I felt it really stepped away from the book. I mean, they had an adult from the beginning. Yes, the adult was sick, but they're with that hope of an adult waking up, that lack of hope of no adult, that is part of the book to me. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
That just utter desolation that you feel.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is the, by the way, this is the 1990 film adaptation for Lord of the Flies that we watched.
Yeah.
There was an earlier one, but we watched the one from
white.
1990, the one in color.
Yeah.
I forget if I think these were American boys in this movie. Correct me if I'm wrong,
they were.
Yep.
Yeah, like that changed things too.
And it didn't really play on it being that there was a war. They were from a military academy.
And that changes things too, because when you're at a military academy, you're learning survival skills.
Well, and I mean, right from the get, Jack was throwing around, like, everybody knew who he was. And they were and he was like trying to take charge right away, and then they gave it to Ralph because he was the better talker. He didn't, Jack seemed like the tougher choice. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as good as the book for me, and I felt it missed the point of the book.
Yeah, but they did, they were trying to reach a wide audience, so they had to tone down some of it.
And I think even though there were those changes, and, the book obviously did it better, because, as books usually do. But I think the movie still made you feel the same kind of feelings about people and what these kids are doing in the situation that they're in, even though it's not 100% true to the book.
Sure, it does it in a more watered down way. Like, it does it in a more... I don't know. A lot of things do that now. A lot of movies do that.
It comes with the territory of having to condense it down to a story being told in an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
I attempted to watch the original, the one from the 60s, but I didn't make it very far.
Because it's in black and white, and you were like, God,
no,
this is terrible.
I fell asleep because,
boring.
It was boring. It was so boring. So I instead napped on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm also old.
That's kind of a doomed proposition. You watching a story you don't like in black and white, an old version of it.
I tried, but
on a Saturday afternoon when you got nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. I just ended up going to sleep. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, I got better things to do, like sleep. Anyways, that's Lord of the Flies.
To uplift it though, I like the true story that I found where those kids worked together and then they were rescued. Because that's what really would happen.
They were older kids. They were all already knew each other. I mean, shit. In that was the problem, is that in the movie, all the kids already knew each other. They had a relationship going on already for the most part, or at least they knew. Yeah. In the book, they didn't know each other. The oldest kids were like 12, so like it's, you're talking about a 16-year-old, 15-year-old.
No, they were 12.
They were not 12. No, they were not, Josh.
And when
let me Bing it. I will
You
find
can
out.
Bing it right now.
I recently listened to the episode, and I believe the age range you said was like 12 minimum to like 16 at the oldest.
Yeah. So they had an older kid with them, at least one.
Well, yeah, they had at least one older kid.
Yeah.
And what year was it? Do you know that this happened?
1965. Just found
Okay,
it.
so the story of Lord of the Flies was around, and so they had a handbook on what not to do.
Right.
Yeah, they did definitely have a handbook on what not to do. If it was even published in their country, because again, they weren't from America.
Yeah. Either way, it is not the same thing. And I say that Lord of the Flies is a scenario that is very possible to some degree. Maybe not exactly in that way, but I do think that kids could devolve into that really quickly.
Mm-hmm. I think our politics has already.
Oh God, I mean adults, yeah, adults devolve into that really quickly. It's yeah, so
it's not all out murdering people, not to the level of Lord of the Flies, but I don't know.
Tell that to the
getting close.
CIA.
yeah, right. CIA or I mean wars, proxy wars, whatever else. I mean, yeah, so I think that's also part of the point of Lord of the Flies is that while these kids are on the island, yeah, at the end they have that juxtaposition where these kids are on the island and yeah, they did all this stuff, but the guy gets there and he's like, oh, you should have kept yourselves in line. What the hell? Meanwhile, they're fighting a war,
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
I believe that's the irony.
that's why I use the word juxtaposition. You don't use the word juxtaposition because you don't get what they were doing.
Hey, some people don't know what that word means.
That's why they don't use the word juxtaposition.
Yeah, right. They're like, what the fuck, is that even a word?
I don't use the word juxtaposition because I don't know what it means.
It's a fun word. It has an X in the middle of it.
Does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Speaking of juxtapositions,
Yeah,
Simon's
right.
Quest.
Oh my God.
That book. Holy
That was-
shit.
Easily my favorite book of the chapter.
Easily the most fun to read, the most
Yep.
fun to talk about. It was
The
just
fucking pop. Right off
just
the
dumb
bat.
fun. Right,
Jesus.
Sets the tone. Dracula drinking your spirit like cherry pop. In his
Goodness
own
gracious.
words.
Yeah. I'm sorry I didn't talk much during that episode. I was fighting cold and I was like,
Yeah,
I
I
barely,
could tell
I
you
was like
weren't
trying
feeling
not
good.
to cough. And so it's like, yep, I'm going to try to speak when I can, but I'm trying to fight this cough. So probably not going to talk much.
Yeah, but we got invited to be on Matt and Mark's episode of The Worlds of Power, and we had our input here and there.
Yeah. Again, he was right. I was staring at the TV a lot, watching that playthrough. It just it's hypnotic. It's entrancing.
It was hypnotic. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's an easy place for the eyes to travel.
it is.
Had a in my living room. I had the YouTube of a long playthrough going, and we were all watching it. Which Matt remarked at one point because it,
Yeah. 'cause
like he
Matt
had his back to the TV.
Yep.
But yeah, just wanted to set the atmosphere and wound up just distracting everybody. Actually, I don't know. That's not really true. It just we had a good episode. We had a good discussion on it. It was fun.
Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
just meant that we were looking in Matt's direction like the whole time, but not at him, past him.
Well, next time, don't have Ninja Gaiden on the screen.
Oh, I plan to.
yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know, that book was just so clearly the person had not played the game or something, or like with any of them, I guess. I think somebody gave him a Cliff Notes on what the game was about, and
Yeah, I think like
Again, he got the
he had a
first few
notes.
chapters, and then he just bypassed everything else
yep.
because
It really seemed that way. Like he was reminded of the pace he needed to write it at, or whatever, or what pace the story needed to go in. He took his sweet time to get to the first artifact, but then just montaged the rest of them. Really,
and they sounded cooler. It's like, oh man,
The argument between him and his publicist. You need to release this book. This book will be my magnum opus. No, listen, your first page, third sentence is Dracula will suck your soul like cherry pop. This is a children's book, you fucking psycho. Finish it.
When I'm through with you, nobody's going to recognize the word Christopher Howell as an author.
We're not even going to put your name on it. We're going to just put FX9.
FX9.
But yeah, not survival related, just a, fun book that we wanted to do with Matt and Mark.
I mean, it was kind of survival related. They had to survive Castlevania.
True. It's not like a stranded survival.
They had to survive seeing what was left of the sores of my face.
Oh, man. On Josh's way here. Well,
we're sorry if you've heard this before. We can't remember if we told you this story.
So Josh, before coming to Michigan, got some kind of like dry skin on his face, and he went to a doctor and they gave him antibiotics, and he apparently had an allergic reaction to the antibiotics.
Yeah.
Because by the time I picked him up from the airport, his face was a little puffy. And I didn't even recognize it at first. No big deal. Well, we went to a little place called Portillo's, which is great.
My favorite restaurant on earth. It is.
They have a shredded beef sandwich.
It's called an Italian beef. You get it dipped.
Italian beef.
It's fucking good. Oh, fuck, I want one right now.
I like to get the combo, which has a piece of Italian sausage in the middle of it and the shredded beef. It's delicious. But we go there and we're standing in line for our food, and Josh goes up and he gets waited on. Then I go up, and I felt like the girl was being extra nice to me, and I was like, or lady, and I'm like, oh, well, yay. And so I go back and sit down by Josh, and I look at him, or I'm saying, hey, I think that girl might have been flirting with me. And Josh looks over at me, and at this point, his face is completely closed up. His eyes are barely slits. His mouth, his whole cheeks are huge. And he goes, cool. And I just, like, and I realized, I'm like, oh, maybe not the time to be gloating.
Good for you.
Good for you. I'm glad. He was starting to look like Sloth from the Goonies. It was fucking crazy.
Eat your sandwich. I need to go to Ready Med.
Oh man, it just kept getting worse until finally his mom took him to the doctor.
Yeah, I went to urgent care. Shout out to Sure Hospital. Thank you so much for fixing me, because fuck Enlo and their stupid ass doctors who don't know what's wrong. I walked in and they're like, yeah, you need a steroid shot. I was like, cool. At least you fucking know what I need, because those other people are like guessing. Oh no, I guess I'll give you antibiotics. Yep. I am super allergic to doxycycline. So do not recommend.
Oh man,
is that something
tough.
you knew before?
That's never happened to me. I've never had doxycycline. I've never had this thing happen to me before. It was crazy.
It was crazy. His face blew up like a balloon. It was nuts.
That was from the antibiotic. Otherwise, I just had these weird sores on my face. Like I got an infection, probably from like a spider bite or something like that. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And then what I ended up needing was a steroid to help fight it off. So yeah, my face is good now. I'm back to being okay.
Oh, good. That's good. Because man,
so good to hear about your face.
Yeah. At first, I was pretty worried about. Was he back to pretty much normal when we recorded?
I was a lot better. I know that.
Okay.
He did look a lot better.
Yeah, because you were back from your mom's when we recorded.
Because
it was it was a couple days before that we met up to go karaoke, and
that's right.
And like he was on the tail end of the swelling going down.
He had stopped taking the antibiotic at that point.
Yep. So that was just the infection itself was a little bit, but yeah, it was definitely going away by then.
It was still there.
Gone.
Yes.
Because I remember Shyla, she saw me with it full on at like Halloween.
Oh my God, Josh!
Yeah.
Like, oh man, what a reaction to have.
And then when we went to see the pups, then she was like, "Oh, you look so much better." I was like, "Okay, good."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. No, it was a night and day difference when you came back for your mom's house, because I was like, "Holy shit, his face."
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't get stuck like that.
No, we went to urgent care and they took care of me, sure, and called the insurance company, made a complaint against Enlo, because again, fuck those people.
Yep.
So, didn't have to pay that bill.
Good. Yeah,
Shout out
serious,
to Blue
man.
Cross. You're dope.
If your face had been stuck like that, we couldn't have been friends anymore.
I know. It would have been weird. There's no laying head to head with that.
We wouldn't want to be seen with you. No more
Yo.
videos for the podcast.
all
I'll-
two that
audio.
we've done.
Just get him a Phantom of the Opera mask to wear.
We have to recast Josh.
Yeah.
Someone more camera friendly.
Just give me a Superman shirt. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, you guys.
Yep, that's gonna be my sign off from now on.
Yeah.
Pay him in candy bars.
Oh,
Baby
man.
Ruth.
Sloth.
I love Sloth.
But oh man, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was a good trip. I enjoyed myself. Other than getting sick and being sick and all that fun jazz, it was a good trip. It was good seeing you guys. It was good going out for karaoke. Oh, that place sucked though.
I mean, it was a cool gimmick and everything, but it was just hard to find karaoke around here on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you go there, and the problem was they had zero selection for songs, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I got a few specific songs that I like to do,
Right.
and
A lot of
they
the
had-
karaoke mainstays, just nothing that
Right.
grabbed Harold's attention.
Here's what killed me. I wanted to do You Can Call Me Al, because that one always boosts me up and makes me feel better, because I know all the words to it, and it's a rare thing for like most people are like, I didn't fucking know anybody. That DJ said the one time, he goes, I didn't know anybody knew all the words to that song. They didn't have that, but they did have Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard. Like, what? I just didn't understand. I feel like
I like that song.
it's a good song, but I feel like less people know about that song than You Can Call Me Al, or I would think, but I guess not. Maybe not.
Well, it's more of a karaoke song than You Can Call Me Al. Because You Can Call Me Al is not like a sing-along. Like most karaoke songs are kind of sing-alongs or something like
Yeah.
that. And
Of
so
course, the one I
it's
want
unique.
is a fucking, it's a fucking, I want the weird one.
Again, my new song to sing at karaoke is Jane. That's not a common song, but it's fun to sing. So, but yeah, next time I come to town, we'll go out during the week or something, because that seems to be what has to happen.
Yeah, apparently it's got to be Sunday and Monday nights.
And let's not go back to that place because they had like $15 beers.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I
That
had a
was
sip of a
ludicrous.
drink, and they were like, the guy was trying to be rude, and I was just like, your jokes are not good.
Yeah, that gimmick got a little. Well, it didn't get stale because it didn't keep up with it well enough to
No.
let it
Well-
get stale. It's just it just kind of went away and
Yeah.
it wound up being like nothing. I don't know.
Or it was almost like, because when they first started coming around, like, we were all kind of giving, like, I mean, I'm ready for someone's bullshit all the time. So
Right.
you got to be on par real quick. And it's like nothing was coming out that was very witty. And, it was neat. I got the 2 glasses for it. It was cool for me because it was fun to go out for my birthday. And people came out, and I was really glad they came out. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
But they didn't have very good karaoke selection, and their drinks were ludicrously priced because they were selling you the glass every time.
Right.
Yeah, I got out of having to pay for my bottle of water because he was like, okay, the bottle of water. I'm like, you dumped half of it on the table. I'm not paying for it. And then, I didn't have to pay for it.
He's like, all right, we make enough on the beer, we can cover
Yeah,
a bottle
basically.
of water. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place. I don't think it's going to be open very long.
No, I feel like, it seemed like they had a lot of family stuff going on, because that's what me and Tim, guy that came near the end, and I were talking about. We looked out on the floor at one point, and he was like, what the fuck? And he goes, I thought maybe there was like a little person over there. He goes, that's a kid. He's like, it's 11
Yeah.
o'clock at night. We're drinking.
They're letting kids stay after most bars don't allow minors.
Yeah. There was families there. It wasn't a party spot for sure.
Yeah, the person that went before me at karaoke was like 8. She was
Yeah.
like an 8-year-old.
Oh,
Right.
dude. But I was so glad that we were there for that super cringy spot where the dad and the son went up there and the son wanted to play the drums and the dad he just stood there and like held the mic down by his side, like refused to sing, and the DJ was singing the song to try and like boost the poor kid, like you just watched this.
I just wanted to play with the drums.
All the happiness just drained from the kid's face as he watched his dad fail at being like outgoing in public. I don't have any room to talk. I didn't get up there at all, even to sing. But if I'd have gotten up there, I'd have sang. I wouldn't have held the mic by my side, just stared at everybody awkwardly.
Yeah. Awkward place.
Yeah,
awkward is the word for it.
Yeah, that's
awkward
it.
Awkward is a good word for it. Yeah, I really enjoyed the pulled pork sandwich though. I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we should you should say the name of the place in case anybody's curious?
Oh, for sure. We went to Dick's Last Resort in Saginaw.
Dick's Last Resort.
Dick's Last Resort. It's called. And I mean, I don't care.
Stickers. I got some stickers.
It's my opinion. I own 2 Dick's Last Resort glasses, so I'm going to go ahead and say that, I definitely probably wouldn't go there again. It seems like the gimmick would be cool if they did it right, but,
right.
It just wasn't.
They need cheaper drinks.
And they need cheaper drinks. Oh, so I was told by a couple of the people that came that they were ordering like Jack and Cokes and just getting it in a regular glass, and their drinks were not nearly as expensive. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't they at some point offer us, you know what I mean? Like the
right?
cheaper, yeah. But I guess that's my problem because I didn't ask.
Yeah, they get you that way.
Yep, I didn't ask. My dumb ass didn't ask, but again, I'm cool with it. I got those 2 glasses, whatever. It's a memory
whatever
for me.
Like you go up and you ask for a pint of beer, and they're like, okay, that's like 15, whatever. And you think to yourself, wow, that's a lot for this beer. I would not pay that much. And then they gave it to you, and you're like, you get to keep the glass. I don't want to have to wash it, so take it.
Yeah.
And then they don't tell you, like, I think you can bring it back for refills, but I'm not sure because I didn't want to test that theory because I was already out like almost $30 just on me.
Right.
But yeah,
that's how I felt about it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, And I didn't
after food and 1 beer.
Yeah, it's craziness.
Anyhow, I don't know. It's probably fun if you're like 8.
Yeah. Or if
and
it
you
was
get to go up on drums,
or if it was done right, or if it was you walked in
right.
and they were actually really dicks to you and they did it the right way. It felt like it was really watered down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a place called Ed Bevics that had that same thing, but they were assholes. And so it was great. Yeah. So that was in Chicago. I don't even think they're open anymore.
I was told that someone had gone to Dick's in Las Vegas and it was that way. Like there was no like question as to it. Like even if you had a good time, you felt like you're like, holy shit, that should have been a bad time by the way they were treating me. You know what I mean? So I think it's just part of it is the area. That's not something that's normal around here. So the idea of going somewhere and being an asshole to people that are supposed to tip you seems fun, but then you're there, you're like, I mean, I want them to tip me. You know what I mean?
Oh, Ed Bevics is still open. Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Nice. Good for them. They managed to survive.
No, we don't have parking. Yes, it gets loud in here. That's fun. But yeah, that was the chapter.
So that's I think it's chapter 7 of Reliterated. I don't know. I lost count. This is episode 53.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or without the deleted episodes, 46, I think.
Listen, we recorded them.
This is the 53rd we've recorded.
We just can't release them.
We can't release them. That does not mean we didn't do them. This is the first 53rd episode. I will not lose status over trivial matters.
I'm not going to lose sleep over it either.
Nope.
So I heard we got some comments. Is that true?
That is true. Yes. On our YouTube videos that come out with every episode, we got a fella by the name of Andrew Stange said, I'm not sure how I ended up here, but great podcast.
Awesome. Yeah.
Which episode was that on?
On the most recent one, Castlevania episode.
Yes.
New fan.
He also
Welcome, new
subscribed
fan.
to us. So, hey, Andrew, glad you're along for the ride.
Yes.
Shout out to Andrew for
We're a
being
fan of you,
cool.
too.
We're
Tell all
working
your
on it.
friends.
This episode's not going to win many awards.
No.
But
Maybe a Razzie.
So it's the end of the year. It's the Christmas season. I don't know. Anybody feeling particularly festive or emotional or I don't know what?
I'm down for some
Like-
feats of strength.
Some feats of strength? You celebrating Festivus?
I am a fan of the Festivus.
A fan of the Festivus? You got your poll up?
I didn't bring it with me when I last moved because I was like, I don't need this. Now I'm regretting it.
Oh,
I don't
no.
believe that you ever even had it.
No, I had one. It was an old curtain rod.
I'm excited, I mean, it's Christmas for the kids. It'll be fun. Go see some family that I don't see all the time, and I still like that.
Mhm.
I don't see family like I used to.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be the first Christmas as kind of a family of four with me and Janelle and Xander and Elton, and it's been pretty good so far for this holiday season, and looking forward to our little new kind of mixed family experience.
Should be fun.
Also, being in a Christmas Story, the musical, has kind of helped to lift my festivity this season as well. I've been celebrating Christmas since October,
Right.
since early October, doing these rehearsals and stuff.
I always get closer. The closer I get to Christmas, the more festive I feel about it, and
Yeah,
I find myself enjoying some Christmas songs. But that's the thing is I don't want to listen to Christmas songs, even right after Thanksgiving. I don't want to hear Christmas songs until like 3 or 4 days before Christmas. And then I'm like, yeah, because there's only so many of them.
Bring out the holly.
Yeah.
Deck the halls, you jingle bell.
Right. You can't have Christmas music on for 2 weeks straight and not hear the same songs over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about Christmas music is how repetitive they can get.
Yeah.
If you do listen to it way before Christmas.
I detest the song Santa Baby. I hate that fucking song so much. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It
I
is
hate
the
that
worst.
one. I absolutely hate Last Christmas.
I just thought it was very funny that
The Whamageddon.
I thought it was funny that George Michael died on Christmas, and so I got to make the joke. Oh, I guess this was his last Christmas.
Oh no.
I thought it was really funny that George Michael died on Christmas.
I did. I thought it was hilarious.
We're gonna
Oh,
make
man.
shirts with
Mm.
that quote.
That's a shirt.
That's something. That's on par with my Paul Walker jokes.
Oh boy.
You and your Paul Walker jokes. Jesus.
Oh man.
So, I'm not doing anything, so I'll be nice and depressed by myself on Christmas. I'll probably read a book that we're looking forward to because I already know it's going to make me cry. Yeah, I already know it's going to make me cry, and I'm going to want to cry on Christmas by myself. So I'm going to read that on Christmas and cry.
I've never read it, so
You've never read Where the Red Fern Grows?
I've never read Where the Red Fern Grows.
Wow, that's interesting. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun.
It'd be
Boy.
fun with you not having read it, and how much you hate dogs. I mean, that's gonna dude. This will be interesting to see Andy's perspective. He'll be like, I
Yeah.
think they got what they deserved.
I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop saying that I don't hate dogs. I'm just gonna lean into the heel aspect of it. I'm just gonna make my heel turn and say fuck dogs.
Yo.
Well, you know something.
Just don't test that theory by bringing any dogs near me, because oh man, they're
never
gonna
know.
get some scritches. Boy,
some
am I gonna
pets.
scritch them, pat their little flanks. Yeah, there's a good girl.
I have watched every
You're just
episode.
miming petting a dog.
No. Absolutely did not pantomime petting a dog by patting the side of my leg. Shut up.
Oh goodness.
So yeah, that's it for this year.
Yep.
Of
Indeed.
Reliterated. Yeah. We're gonna see you in the new year with a new chapter of the podcast. It's going to be all requests and fingers crossed, all featuring guests that they can all make it and record with us.
Yeah.
All of the lovely folks that requested these stories are going to read.
That will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I want to hear people's perspectives on it. I know one of the stories we're going to read is something I've wanted to read anyways. It's the one that Josh's brother David picked, and that's actually a story that I thought of early on that I wanted to read.
Should we reveal the titles, or are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, if they're listening at this point, I think they've earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know if the exact order that we're going to go, but this is kind of what I've got slated right now. We're going to start off with Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls, and that's going to feature Janelle. Then Goosebumps, The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. That was a request that came in from Mark.
It'd be good to read another Goosebumps. It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has been a minute since our last Goosebumps.
And we can look up some. We can look up some. We can do Steinwatch. See what's up.
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
I know what's up with Stein.
Everybody loves Steinwatch.
See what old Ricky Licky Stein is up to.
Steinwatch is our most requested thing. We haven't done it in like 4 chapters.
The people are clamoring for Steinwatch.
It's actually just me outside. Hey guys,
anyone seen R.L. Stein?
What are you doing a Steinwatch? And we are also going to cover Sideways Stories from Wayside School.
Yes.
Yes, we will be joined by, I wonder if he wants to use his professional name or his real name. Well, as a comedian,
Josh's
he's known as
brother.
Trip, but otherwise he's just my brother David. Well, not just my brother. He's my awesome brother David. So
Not just a brother.
It's starting
Great.
to sound like nepotism.
It's starting to sound like nepotism. Because next, we've got I, Houdini, requested by Matt.
Okay.
Also friend of the show. It's one of his all-time favorite books from being a kid.
Nice.
And we're going to try something kind of daring. We're going to go back to Michigan Chillers.
ugh.
Ooh.
That's going to be fun. And we're going to do that one in a kid-friendly manner because we're going to have Harold's
that.
and my kids, Bruce and Xander, on the show
Mm-hmm.
to
They've
talk
heard me
about the
swear, it's
creepy
fine.
clowns of Kalamazoo. I know they've heard all of us swear.
I'm sure at least one of them I know has listened to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. They're
Bruce
big
is
fans
one
of the
our biggest
podcast.
fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I think it's probably not a great look to feature children under 10 swearing up a storm.
It will be cool
Oh,
to have
Bruce-
the non-explicit
Bruce
tag
wouldn't.
for
He-
once.
Bruce wouldn't even when he's given the option, like when it's like, oh, you can say the word if he's trying to explain something to me. I'm like, and he's like, and I'm like, you can say it. He doesn't want to. he's like, no. He got in trouble at school though in kindergarten. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
probably made
Yep.
an impression.
Mhm. Yep. Well, he said fuck, and his teacher sent him to the wall. And he went to the wall, and he was going fuck, 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 fuck. He knows this story. I'm sure if he's listening right now, he's blushing.
Right.
And the new Nate, I guess, was like, "What do we do?" And the teacher, because I talked to the teacher later, the teacher's like, "What can we do? He's a child. He's, like, let him get it out of his system. When he realizes he can't play with the other kids, maybe he'll stop." But then they told him, they were like, we're gonna have to tell your parents. And right after they said they were gonna have to tell us, he wasn't really caring at first. And Shyla went to pick him up, and she was bringing him home. She was like, "We're going home, and you're going to have to tell your dad what you did." And I guess right then he was like, "Oh, no."
It's actually a bigger deal than
Yeah.
I thought it was.
And it was when I found out, they told me, and the first thing I did is I had to stifle my laugh.
Oh, I'm
because-
sure.
Yeah, I was like, and I'm like, Bruce, And, ever since then, like, he just, and whatever. It's probably better for it because, trusting him out there in the world with the words, but I know that they'll eventually say it, and I don't care, but whatever. It was just funny, like, there's a
Right.
time and a place, bro, and that was not the place. And now I have to tell you no. It was funny though.
But secretly, I'm so proud of you.
I mean, it's funny.
It is. It's hilarious.
They're just words to me. I don't understand. I think
Yeah.
that it's when people make a big deal out of them that they become a big deal.
Yeah, it's the fact that people make a big deal out of them that
Mhm.
make them a big deal.
You know?
So, I don't know. Anyhow,
Yeah. So,
that's our show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bob's your uncle.
It's not completely over, just over for this year.
All right.
Yep, it's been a survival chapter in more ways than one, but we did it.
Yeah.
We did it. We survived.
We made it through.
We
Sure
survived.
did.
And honestly, we all did have some trials and tribulations through it. I mean, Josh almost died from having his face inflate so much.
But it was weird because it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why we made fun of it the entire time.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I made
Yep.
it through another summer in the 100+ degree greenhouses.
And I made it through my own securities, wondering if Harold and Josh are still talking to me.
Hey, we're always on Xbox and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really get on Xbox late at night anymore.
How late? I mean, I get on right when I get home. Harold and I
Yeah,
watch a
He
show.
gets on at 8:30. Yeah, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, we're late. He gets on at 8:30. I go to bed by like 10 o'clock.
So yeah, I get home and I
Right?
jump right on, and that way, and then I do my other stuff later usually.
Right, and I can do the later gaming that we all used to, but like generally if I get to play my games, it's on a day that I'm off of work or
Right.
working from home and taking a break, and neither of you are available at those times. So
What we need to do is make some time here and there, at least on a weekend night or something, and play some GTA again, because that would be fun. I think we
Right.
should just do it just to do it.
yeah, certainly once 6 is out, we're all gonna see what that's about, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
Oh, for sure.
at the rate they're releasing stuff for online, GTA Online right now, I think GTA 6 is still a little ways out.
You think?
Oh yeah. Do you remember when they introduced GTA 5? The trailer came out 5 years before the game.
Yeah, we
So-
haven't really gotten much of a trailer, even just kind of a tease.
Exactly. So
And whatever was leaked.
Yeah,
That's-
the episode, I was like, oh, this is literally like Pulp Fiction.
and who knows if it's real.
Yeah.
So
Well, it won't be now.
right.
yeah. Anyways, that's for the video game podcast to discuss.
Yep.
We're a book podcast, and we're closing this one for the year.
We are. So all right. Well, Bob's your uncle. That's Reliterated.
Hope you all have great holidays season, and give a shit, read some lit.
Thanks, everybody.
This has been Reliterated, a production of the Chocolate Milk Friends and part of the 989 Podcast Network. If you enjoy our show, please consider giving us support by subscribing, recommending us to your book reading, podcast listening, 90s nostalgic friends, and most importantly, rating and reviewing us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible Podcasts, and Spotify. Did I mention we really want some Spotify ratings right now? Your ratings and reviews go a long way towards getting us in the ears of new listeners. You're also invited to join the growing Reliterated community on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you really want to get nuts, we have a Discord too. So bing us and join us in this nonsense. If you have a book suggestion for a future episode or have questions for us, send us an email at reliterated@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
We really got to work on closing up episodes.
It's because we're from the Midwest. It's the Midwest goodbye.
That's the Midwest goodbye.
Yep.
It's not our fault. It's
We
because
need
it's
to-
ingrained in us.
Well, listen, it is our fault because we're aware of it.
Are we though? It just
Yeah.
happens.
That's
If
like,
we're aware of our faults and we don't change them, I don't know.
then
it's
we're just
probably-
Josh.
We're just,
You know,
I don't know.
I'm great.
Yeah.